Ever wonder what happens after we die? Like, do we just immediately come back as someone else, or is there like a break in between lives?
It's a question that's fascinated people for ages. And lucky for us, we have some pretty insightful answers straight from the spirits themselves.
You're talking about Alan Kardec's The Spirits book.
Exactly. But today we're going deep on a specific section, questions 223 to 236, all about what spirits get up to when they're not in a physical body.
So we're skipping the intro to Spiritism and Kardec this time.
Right, we're assuming our listeners are familiar with the basics. We'll put some links in the show notes for anyone who wants to brush up, though.
Great idea. So this spirit life, well, what's the big takeaway? Are we talking fluffy clouds and angel wings?
Not quite. It's way more dynamic than that.
Okay, spill the tea. I'm ready for some cosmic secrets.
Well, first we need to talk about errant spirits.
Errant spirits. Sounds kind of spooky. Are those like the lost souls wandering around?
Not exactly lost, more like traveling. Think of it as that in-between time when a spirit's done with one life and not quite ready for the next.
So like a cosmic layover.
Exactly. And Kardec learned that this layover is anything but boring. Spirits use this time to reflect on their past life, learn from wiser spirits, and basically get ready for their next incarnation.
So it's not all harps and halos.
Definitely not. It's active. They're observing, listening, learning, and preparing. Think of it as a supercharged self-improvement course.
Makes sense. But do they still have all their baggage from their previous life? You know, the jealousy, the anger, all that messy human stuff.
That's where things get interesting. It seems to depend on the spirit's level of evolution.
So the more evolved a spirit, the less likely they are to cling to all that negativity.
Precisely. As spirits progress, they shed those lower passions and attachments. Think of it like spiritual spring cleaning.
Okay, that makes sense. But I bet it's not like flipping a switch. You don't just die and poof, all your bad habits are gone.
You got it. It's a process. But a more evolved spirit can definitely detach from those negative emotions much faster after death.
It's almost like they've learned the lessons they needed to and can finally let go.
Right. And they don't carry that negativity into the errant state.
But what about those who haven't quite reached that level? Are they just stuck with all that baggage?
Sadly, it seems so. They haven't quite grasped the lessons and are still clinging to those earthly desires.
Makes their cosmic layover a little less enjoyable, I imagine.
Yeah.
So where are these errant spirits hanging out during this time? Are they stuck on Earth? Can they, like, visit other planets?
Ooh, now we're getting into the really cool stuff. It's not as simple as hopping on a spaceship. Spirits are drawn to worlds that are on a similar vibrational level to the one they just left.
Oh, so it's like a spiritual gravity.
Exactly. You can't just jump to a super advanced world if you're not ready.
So no intergalactic tourism for newbie spirits? What about the more advanced ones? Can they check out other planets?
They can, but here's the catch: they can only visit as observers.
Oh, that's gotta be frustrating. Like window shopping for a life you can't quite afford yet.
It might seem that way, but it's actually really motivating for them. It fuels their desire to grow and evolve.
I can see that. A little taste of what they could achieve if they keep working on themselves. But this whole vibrational level thing, that makes me think of those transitional worlds Kardec talks about.
Ah, yes. Transitional worlds. Now we're talking. Those are some of the most intriguing places in the spirit world.
Okay, so break it down for me. What are these worlds like? Are we talking spirit resorts with beaches and buffets? Or maybe more like cosmic libraries filled with ancient wisdom?
Hold on. Before you book your interdimensional vacation, you need to know that these worlds aren't physical places in the way we understand them.
Okay, so scrap the travel brochures. No pina coladas on the astral plane.
Nope. They're more about providing space for contemplation and spiritual growth.
So what do they do all day? Just float around meditating?
Meditation is definitely a part of it. But they also continue learning and progressing, integrating what they learned in their past life and getting ready for the next.
Like a spiritual retreat, a time to digest all those soul lessons.
Yes, exactly. It's a period of deep introspection and personal growth.
Okay, starting to get the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But do spirits have to go to these transitional worlds? Or is it optional?
Great question. And the answer is, it's a choice. Some spirits prefer to stay in the errant state and explore on their own. Others seek out a more structured experience.
So like choosing between backpacking around the world or signing up for a semester abroad.
Perfect analogy. There's no one-size-fits-all in the spirit world. It's all about finding the right environment for you.
Okay, that makes sense. You keep calling these worlds transitional. Does that mean they eventually, well, transition into something else?
Yes, exactly. They serve a specific purpose, but they don't last forever.
Wait a minute. Are you about to tell me that Earth used to be one of these transitional worlds?
Well, according to the spirits, Earth did serve as a transitional world in its early stages. Before humans came along, it was like a cosmic rest stop for spirits between lives.
Whoa. So we've been living on a giant spirit waiting room this whole time.
It's a mind-blowing thought, isn't it?
Totally changes my perspective on things. So are you saying Earth is still evolving?
It's certainly a possibility, and that raises some big questions about humanity's role in all this. But those are questions for another deep dive.
Okay, I'm still trying to wrap my head around Earth being this ancient spirit hangout. It's fascinating, but it also raises so many questions. Like, what did these transitional worlds actually look like?
Right. Were they like barren wastelands or some sort of ethereal paradise?
I'm picturing something out of a sci-fi movie.
Well, Kardec actually asked the spirits about that, and their answer was kind of surprising.
Don't leave me hanging.
They said that while these worlds don't have physical features like we see on Earth, mountains, oceans, trees, they do possess a unique beauty.
Okay, so not like Earth. What did they look like then?
Think vast and expansive. They described it as a boundless expanse, free from the limitations of the material world.
So kind of like, imagine a desert under a sky full of stars, but stretching out infinitely.
Yeah, something like that. It's a different kind of beauty, a beauty that comes from their sheer immensity.
A beauty we can barely grasp with our limited human perception.
Exactly. It's a reminder that there are other forms of beauty out there, beyond anything we can imagine.
So these worlds are temporary, right? They eventually evolve into something else. What happens to the spirits who are like living there during that transition? Do they just have to pack up and move on?
That's where that vibrational level thing comes back in. Remember, spirits are drawn to worlds that match their level of development.
Right, that spiritual gravity we were talking about.
So as a world evolves, it basically becomes less suitable for the spirits who were initially drawn to it.
And as the spirits evolve, they'll naturally want to move on to a world that's more in line with where they are.
Exactly. It's all about finding the right environment for growth, whether you're a spirit or a planet, it seems.
Whoa. Okay, so if Earth was a transitional world once, does that mean it's still evolving? And if so, where does that leave us humans?
Now you're asking the big questions.
Yeah.
It does make you think about humanity's role in this whole cosmic evolution thing.
Like, we're not just here to pay bills and die, right?
It does seem like there's a bigger picture at play, that our actions, even our thoughts, contribute to the overall evolution of both ourselves and the planet.
Okay, that's pretty profound. But it's also a bit overwhelming. I mean, it makes you realize the potential impact of every little choice we make.
It's both empowering and humbling, isn't it? We're not just insignificant specks in a vast universe. We're part of something much bigger, something that's constantly evolving and unfolding.
Okay, one more question before we move on. We've talked about spirits observing other worlds. Can they also communicate with us here on Earth? And if so, how?
Now you're getting into one of the most fascinating aspects of Spiritism, spirit communication. But that, my friend, is a topic for another deep dive.
Perfect timing, because we have another whole part to this episode.
Let's take a quick break to let all this sink in, and then we'll dive into the world of spirit communication and what it means for us here on Earth.
Okay, so the big question. Can spirits actually talk to us? Send messages from beyond the veil.
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Kardec was obsessed with finding the answer.
So he didn't just, speculate. He actually tried to communicate with spirits.
He did. Through mediums, of course. Remember, he believed they acted as a bridge between the physical and spirit worlds.
Right. So what did he learn? How did they get in touch?
Well, it's not like they're picking up the phone, right? Communication in the spirit world is way more subtle.
Yeah, no texting from the other side. So how does it work?
The spirits said one of the most common ways is through our thoughts and feelings.
You mean like intuition, like when you get a gut feeling about something?
Exactly. It could be a sudden flash of insight, a feeling about a decision, or even that sense that a loved one who's passed is still with you.
Wow. So we could be getting messages all the time and not even realizing it.
It's possible, but it's also easy to mistake our own thoughts and feelings for spirit communication.
Right. How do you know if it's the real deal?
That's where discernment comes in. Kardec was big on using logic and reason. You got to question everything, analyze it. Don't just blindly accept what you hear or feel.
So basically, be a skeptic, even when it comes to the spirit world.
Exactly. Not all spirits are good guys, remember? Some might try to mess with you.
Okay, so you get a message, you've analyzed it, and you're pretty sure it's legit. What kind of things are spirits trying to tell us, anyway?
It depends. Sometimes it's guidance, support during tough times. Other times it's a warning, maybe to help us avoid danger or make better choices.
Like they're looking out for us.
Yeah, kind of like spiritual guardians. But it's not about them controlling our lives, just gentle nudges in the right direction.
Can we talk back to them? I mean, if they can communicate with us, can we send messages their way?
Kardec believed it goes both ways. He saw prayer as a form of spirit communication.
So, like sending our thoughts and intentions out into the universe.
Exactly. And the more we cultivate our own spiritual side, the clearer the connection becomes.
Wow, this whole deep dive has been a wild ride. From Earth as a spirit layover to, like, actual conversations with the other side. It's amazing to think about all the possibilities out there.
It really is. And we've just scratched the surface. There's so much more to learn and explore when it comes to the spirit world.
I'm definitely leaving this with a new perspective.
Yeah.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this journey through Allan Kardec's The Spirits book. Remember, the invisible world is all around us. Keep your minds open and keep exploring those infinite possibilities.